Coming up,
We just opened this for a moment.
I discover something. These things are going to be so much better than vaults. I get confused. Oh, what? Oh dear. And I lose my grass. Look around, wall. Grass not there either. Let's create. Today, I'm going to be building a storage system like you've never seen before. I'm also going to be bringing infinite power and lava over to this new base area. And if you recall from the last episode, I was converting my interdimensional subway system into an overworld subway system to solve a lot of portal linking issues. And it's now done. I've spent a whole bunch of time off camera completing the journey from my starter base all the way over to the shopping area, and everything is decorated and done. So let's take a drive on this brand new subway. We need to go back over to my starter area first, so let me put the package in for that, and then we can watch this thing go. And if I turn my lighting down to the standard Minecraft lighting, which is just there, you'll see that these tunnels are dark and moody, just the way I wanted them to be. But they're also fully lit now, so nothing can spawn down here. We're not going to have any issues with creepers or zombies or skeletons, and they go a long, long way, which means it does take a little bit longer to get from base to base rather than going through the nether. But it works, there's no glitches, it doesn't get stuck, I don't get lost, and it looks nice. That said, a bunch of the comments from my last video questioned why I bothered bringing this monorail all the way up from the bottom of the world to stations that are higher up. Wouldn't it have just been better to make all of the stations down at the bottom of the world and then just use elevators at the places I wanted to go to get to? Well, yes, but also no, because this is a fast travel system. I want to get to where I'm going as quickly as possible. And whilst this is a little bit slower than it was, i.e. going all the way from my starter base all the way through to my base and then the shopping area, it would actually be a lot slower for me if I built all the stations down at the bottom of the world and then had to build elevators to take me up to the top of the world, and it would also make my journeys more complex. At which point I'd probably just end up using my elytra to fly around rather than actually using this thing. There we go, we've now just going past my new base, and now we're going to go all the way down to the shopping area, and once again you can see that the lighting down here is very moody, very subway-like, and I absolutely love it. And here we are, just about arriving at the shopping area. All we gotta do is go up the hill, and rather than arriving down at the bottom of the world and having to take an elevator, I arrive exactly where I want to, and now I can just go out and do all of the shopping I need to do. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. And the other good thing about this is if I put coal in one of the chests, or this barrel in front of me, this thing goes a whole bunch faster, meaning I can get exactly where I need to go very, very quickly. Right, okay, storage system then. If you haven't watched my last episode, you won't know that I'm planning on actually having interdimensional storage. And in order to demonstrate that, let's pop over to my test world. As you can see, I've got two systems set up here. This is your normal sort of storage system where you'd have a whole bunch of vaults connected together with belts and frogs and chain conveyor and all that sort of stuff. And then at the front, you'd have your system where you could request your items. You click send and they get sent out and put in the chest. And it's relatively simple. The items come out of here, they get packaged, they go across here, they get unpackaged, and they go into the chest. But vaults and frogs and chain conveyors and all that sort of stuff cause a bunch of lag. They make your frames per second drop down. They're not ever so great for the server because the storage systems are always trying to locate where the blocks are in the world and put them in the right places. So I came up with a system to make my frames per second a whole bunch better at my base, and that is by using the nether to send the items. So basically going through the nether portal, you'll see I have the same setup we had in the overworld, but this time the items are stored in the nether. They then get packaged, unpackaged, put into here and spat through the portal, caught by these conveyors, put into this chest, and it happens just as quick as if it was in the overworld. We'll go over to this, we'll request a few stacks of logs, and then we'll come to this chest, and you can see they're already coming in. That's very fast. However, I've got another trick up my sleeve with this storage system to make it even better. So back on the server and over at my starter base, as you can see, we've already got 6 full-size vaults here, which are all absolutely full, still, even though we've actually got another 3 vaults here which are just designed to get rid of items we've got too many of, like netherrack and cobbled deep slate and cobblestone. And with this being my starter base, i.e. the start of the game, not my main base, not my massive storage system that we're going to need for the entire season's worth of storage, I'm going to need a lot more than 6 full-size vaults. And whilst that's how you're intended to play the game, and that's what Create is made for, and whilst we are going to be putting them in the nether to make them less laggy for my base in the overworld, it still is going to have an impact on the server. And that's why I built this ginormous tower in the nether to keep things away from my main base, so that my base area doesn't get laggy. And I just want to explain laggy, because there are some subtle differences. There is visual lag, which I can simulate by just dropping my frame rate, where the world just goes all sorts of jittery. That's the sort of lag that I'm trying to avoid at my main base by putting everything into the nether. And the other type of lag is server lag, where the server just can't keep up and items move more slowly than they would, and you get all sort of rubber bandy, often pinging back to where you were a few seconds ago, or when you're mining blocks they break and then go back to where they were. And when you've got that sort of lag, your server's pretty much dead. Once you've got enough players on your world that have created enough contraptions that are always loaded, that are just slowing the server down, there's not a lot you can do about it other than destroying everything. So whilst this nether tower is going to keep my frames per second nice and smooth when I'm over at my base area, because we're going to have it force loaded, always running, and a whole bunch of storage and machines in here, it is going to have a detrimental effect on the server, and I want to help reduce that. That means I'm not going to be filling this place up with tons and tons of vaults. I'm going to be avoiding using packages and frog ports and chain conveyors and stock links. I'm going to do something else. But before I can get to that something else, I've got to get rid of the elephant in the room, or more accurately, this subway system that is no longer required, because these portals are going to cause problems with all of the things I'm planning to do, and I kind of want a whole bunch of my copper back. So I think before I do anything else, I should do that. And of course, the easiest way to do that is going to be utilizing one of my tunnel bores, and you might notice I've only got 3 of them here. I did have 4, and I can't find one of them. I've no idea what I've done with it, but we only need 1, so that's absolutely fine. So let's just grab this and go and do some smashing. Well, I may have got a little bit sidetracked while disappearing those nether tunnels, to the point where we now have an even bigger nether tower that not only stretches all the way out of the top of the bedrock on the nether roof up to Y level 200, it also has an elevator and power. If we hop in this elevator, you can see I've put in a level every 10 blocks, and if we go down to 120, which is where the bedrock layer is, you can see I've had a good fun time actually disappearing a bit of this bedrock so we could squeeze our elevator in and actually route our power through. Going down either further to level 80, this is where we're going to be having our storage, and that's because that's pretty much the level in the overworld where my portal is, and I want my portals to link up properly. Going even further down, we've actually got 2 levels dedicated to producing power, although one of them has nothing in it yet, and that's because this is going to be filled with steam engines and turbines. And yes, it is possible to have steam engines in the nether. It's just a little bit more tricky because water can't exist in the nether, so that's going to be a fun challenge. But below this floor, we actually have what's currently generating our power, which is an absolute ton of water wheels all behind these grates. And that is currently producing us a whopping 104,000 stress units, which isn't actually that bad considering it's just a bunch of water wheels. And why have I put them all in these cages? Well, you see, I've got to be very careful in here because I've made a lot of effort to make this entire structure non-spawnable, as in things can't spawn in here. And that's also why I spent a bunch of time outside of the tower. You might be wondering why I bothered to dig out an entire chunk space around the entire sides of this thing, filling in the bottom with grates where there's no bedrock. And that's because as I was tunnel boring the first part of my tunnel away, I actually disappeared a whole bunch of the side of this because I drove it into it, and that's because I couldn't see it. It was underneath the lava and the netherrack and all of the other blocks, and I thought, well, if I can have an accident and accidentally bump into my tower and destroy a bunch of it, so can the other players. So I thought, why not make it clearly visible to everyone with a good one chunk space all the way around it so that they can easily see if they're about to drive into it. So that's what I did. And now, because bedrock is not a spawnable block and we've covered this with grates, absolutely nothing can spawn in this entire area that I've carved out, including in my tower. And that means we're not going to have loads of mobs and entities just kicking around, causing even more lag. And it also means at some point I can actually use levels in here, potentially as a mob farm. But let's not get carried away with things that we're not even close to be doing yet. Let's go back to the overworld and talk about how I'm going to make lag-free storage. In fact, we don't need to go to the... we might as well just go to the storage level, and in order to do that, let's just get rid of this portal because we don't need that here anymore. And let's head up to our storage level and pop our portal in here instead. I can't remember the exact location it needs to be, so for now, I guess let's just throw it in over here and then we'll link it up properly later on. And there we go. We've lit the portal. So, vaults then. A single vault block can hold 20 stacks of items, which is actually 7 stacks less than a barrel. You also can't access them by clicking on them, and it's quite difficult to see what's in them without some sort of stock interface or something like that, whereas a barrel can hold quite a lot of items and can be easily accessed. The problem with barrels, however, is you can't join them together to make a big barrel, whereas with a vault, you can join them together and create an absolutely massive multi-block storage system, and at their full size, which is 3x3 by 9 long, got a little bit long there, these can hold a whopping 1,620 stacks. That's over 100,000 items, so they're pretty good for storing a lot of things. But because they are a multi-block structure, and each one of these blocks is constantly looking to see if it's connected to another block to see whether or not it should talk to it, and the textures should line up and all that sort of stuff, they are inherently a little bit laggy. Not massively, but when you've got them en masse, that lag starts to add up. So I'm not going to be using vaults or barrels or chests. I'm going to be using something that we've got on this season of Create that we didn't have last time, that can hold even more items, doesn't have multi-block trying to connect to each other stuff lag problem thingies. That was a mouthful. And they can hold even more items, like millions more. And these, of course, are backpacks. A backpack is a single block, yet when you upgrade it to Netherite Tier and add 3 diamond stack upgrades to it, they can hold nearly 4 million items. 61,440 stacks, and that's because each of the 120 slots in here can hold 32,768 items. And what's more, you can click on it to access the inventory, you can interact with them with hoppers and chutes and things like that to automate them. They take up hardly any room at all, and you can even just pick them up and move them around without all the items falling out. These things are going to be so much better than vaults. But can we actually interact with them with a storage system? There's only one way to find out. For that, we're going to need a packager, a stock link, a blaze burner, and a stock ticker. And all I'm going to do is stick the packager on front of that backpack, put down my blaze burner, put down my stock ticker, click on my stock ticker with that and click it on there. And hopefully that should mean when I look at this, yes, I can see the entire contents of my backpack. And if I want to select some items and send them, they get packaged out of the backpack and go in there. Oh my goodness, we are going to have the biggest, bested storage system that's going to be able to hold over 30 million items. That said, I haven't actually explained the downside yet. You see, barrels, well, they're just made of wood. Wood's easy to get and I've got lots of it. And vaults, well, these are just made of barrels and iron. And iron's easy to get. And I've got lots of it. Whereas backpacks, however, are made of all of the things that I don't have lots of. The string and the leather isn't too difficult because I can buy that from Silent Whisper, and the chests are not going to be difficult because they're made of wood. But in order to get one to a netherite tier, so it's got the full storage capacity, I'm going to have to spend a bunch of iron ingots, then a bunch of gold ingots, then a bunch of diamonds, and of course a netherite. And that's the cheap bit. In order to get these diamond stack upgrades, that's going to cost a lot of money. Again, we need string and iron and leather, then we need a lot more iron, then we need a lot of gold, and then we need a lot of diamonds. And if I'm going to be having 10 of these backpacks dedicated for my storage system, we're going to need a minimum of 800 diamonds, and 800 gold, and 800 iron, as well as a bunch of string and leather and chests. Oh my goodness. But yes, that's my plan. All I've got to do now is craft those backpacks and get them set up. And that brings me back to my storage system. As we've said, we're going to have the storage popping out of this and being available from this little kiosk here. But I'm also going to need a temporary storage solution set up in here to actually get items back through the nether from my train, which is currently full of items and waiting to deliver all of the items from my starter base. And that's why I've spent a little bit of time off camera digging out a little hole underneath my subway, ready to start putting all of that in. And that's exactly what I'm going to do first. No, I'm not. I'm going to craft those backpacks first. I'm going to spend all my diamonds. Oh my goodness, this is... Oh geez, I better get crafting. And while I'm crafting all of these backpacks, why don't you check out this clip that was taken a few days ago when Dave came over to talk to me about his railway plans.
So today I have something to, well, discuss with you, ask you, show you. So if you just follow me through this nice little forest here.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know if you've seen this building yet, but
I have not.
This is the house of the board of transport. Yes. I want to set up a board of transport, right?
Yeah.
Right? To speak about things relating to transport. There are some office spaces, so if you want an office as well, you're free to have one. And they're on 45-degree angle, so...
I don't think I can, Dave. It's just the angles. It messes with my brain. As much as it's a gorgeous building, but I think if I lived here, I'd go stir crazy.
There's like also an attic, and the attic is...
Is it on 45-degree angle by any chance?
Yes. Sorry.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not what we're here for. If you want one, you can have one. You're sort of a member of it by having a mode of transport. So
okay. Well, I claim one. That sounds good, but don't expect me to figure out how to use it.
No. But well, we're here for the meeting room. So you see all of these lines on this map. There are some parts that have already been built, so it's kind of hard to read. Let's just say this little green area. You see that? You see that?
Yeah.
It matches with I think your area.
It does. It just happens to go right through my base.
No, it's like, well, I don't know what your base is. Is it the mountain? Is it like the side of the mountain, or?
Majority of it's going to be towards sort of this side. You can't really see where I'm looking. My crosshairs. No. Should we go over there and I'll show you?
Yeah, one sec, because I do. Wait, let me just open this for a moment. I do have an offer for you if need may be. Yes.
Right. Okay. Speaking of diamonds, Dave.
Yes, speaking of diamonds.
You know how we had a joint venture of this monorail because you helped me with my angles?
Yes.
Well, I have a special chest with all of the diamonds that this has made so far in profit, ready to be shared.
Have you actually made profit?
Yeah.
Where's that profit located?
It's in the secret chest.
Where's the secret chest located?
We're in a safe place where
In a
no one can
secret
get their
place.
hands on it.
So it's basically gone forever and yours now.
No, it's not mine. It's ours, Dave.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is my base area. All
beautiful.
the light touches one day shall be... No, the green bit. The green bit is all mine.
The green bit is all yours. So where does it say it's yours?
Well, there was a sign, but someone pinched it. But it said it on the Discord, which apparently is law. Think you're safe running your line as close as possible to the edge of that mountain.
Yes, so the railway should come out of that gorge and go past this mountain. Maybe chop away a bit, maybe add like a tunnel here and there. And then...
that would be good. I like tunnels.
Anyway.
So those diamonds then, that you were going to give me to talk me into it?
No,
Yay, free money!
Okay, like that should be fine. Honestly, I got all of these 32 diamonds from my shop that you spend on there. So have fun with your own money. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for 12 of them.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, half of them. That's fine.
That seems
that's
more reasonable. Yes. Okay, I've crafted up a whole bunch of backpacks. We've got 10 brand new ones. But I haven't upgraded any of them yet, and I haven't made any of my stack upgrades. We've just got blank ones. And that's because I thought it might be a good idea to show you exactly how many resources we've been getting from all of my mining, digging out the tunnels for our subway, as well as the mining in the nether, including my recent trip to another trial chamber to mine that out so that I could get enough copper to finish my big old tower in the nether. And I can show you that I've got a whole bunch of iron. But better than that, I've got a bunch of diamonds here, a bunch more deep slate diamond ore, and a whole bunch of ancient debris and gold as well. So I'm going to go and get all of these broken down and crafted up, and we'll see exactly what we've got and how many diamonds I'll still need to withdraw from my bank. And doing that's given me that many diamonds. That's 634 of them, which means combined with what I've got in my backpack already, I shouldn't have to go and withdraw any of my diamonds from the bank. Next, we can throw the crushed raw gold into my washing machine, and now I have over 15,000 gold nuggets. I should really craft those into ingots. Oh, geez, that's so boring though. Although what I could do is just throw them through my iron press machine and get them turned into nuggets that way. That's a good idea. And if I was really smart, I'd grab myself a smart chute, stick that on top of that chest, filter that for gold nuggets, and then just throw my backpack on top, and they can all just drain out of there into there and then get pressed into the ingots. Now we've done that, we can craft our ancient debris into netherite ingots, turn all of our diamonds apart from a few into diamond blocks, throw my existing backpacks down out of the way, and get these backpacks upgraded. With that done, we can use a bunch more diamonds to make these netherite smithing upgrade templates, and then we can head over to the smithing table, pop those on there and that on there, and then one at a time turn these all into netherite backpacks. And there we go, that's all of my backpacks now netherite. Now we've just got to do the upgrades. Now before I do that, you guys might be wondering why I'm not using netherite upgrades in my backpacks. Well, that's simply because we've modified the Sophisticated Backpacks mod to disable a whole bunch of the features, including the netherite stack upgrades, just to make things slightly less OP than they could be. I don't understand it myself, but that's what we decided as a server, because this server's run by mod. So here goes, let's see what we can do. Yes, we can just craft 16 of those straight off the bat, no problem, and now I need another 14 of those. Wonderful. Now we can upgrade those to gold. We can do 18 before we run out, but we have got more gold coming in a moment from this machine. In fact, we've got loads of it here already. Let's just get that crafted into blocks and see if we can get all of those done. Almost. A little bit more, please. There we go. That's all of the gold ones done. So now we just need 30 diamond ones, and we can make 10. Guess I drastically miscalculated how many diamonds I'm going to need. I would like to withdraw 800 diamonds-ish, please. And that's still not enough. My math sucks. We'll just withdraw them all. There we go. That's enough. And after depositing them all back in, we have 1,941 diamonds, which means we're definitely not the richest player anymore. but we are maintaining second place, so it could be worse. Anyway, now that we've got all of the diamond upgrades that we need, I am just gonna grab a handful more for my backpack, and that's because I need to go shopping at a shop that's not quite ready yet. And speaking of shops that are not quite ready yet, if you remember back a few episodes ago, I made the Pop Daycare Introduction Center. And hopefully in this episode, if not the next one, the pups will be here. We're doing the introductions later today, but if you would like a sneak peek, shh, don't tell any of the other members. If I grab myself a set of shears and come into the daycare center and find myself a pop, we've got a Deersil pop here, I can get him out of his box, and off he goes. He is now alive, but we'll save that for later. Oh, jeez, let's put him back in his box, put him back up there. You didn't see anything. Anyway, now we've got all of our backpacks and our upgrades, it's time to build a big old storage system, or more likely a quite small storage system, back in our giant Nether Tower. Before I start throwing these down, however, and making a storage system, I'm not sure that you 100% appreciate what these are worth. And the best way I can show you that is in this empty creative superflat world. And you can see at the top left of my screen, it's currently showing my frames per second, which sometimes is hitting above 2,000, which is pretty good. And if I grab myself a backpack and plonk 10 of them down, you'll see that hasn't really massively affected my frames per second. It is dancing between around about 800 and 1,500 now, but it's not a huge problem, and my gameplay is still very smooth. And these 10 backpacks, fully upgraded, although these are diamond, not netherite, but it doesn't make any difference, these 10 backpacks are equivalent to 380 full-size vaults. Not 380 of these, I mean 380 of these. So let's add 380 of those into the world and see how it affects my game. There they are, 380 full-size vaults. And if I get rid of these backpacks, so there's nothing else in the world but those, you'll see again they're not massively affecting my frames per second. It is a bit lower than the backpacks, but it is affecting how the game's running. Opening up the profiler at the bottom of my game, you can see there is a 13 millisecond max. That's how many milliseconds it takes the game to run each tick. And because there's very little in the world, it sort of hovers around 11 or 13, which is pretty low. Maybe vaults are not that bad after all. But if we get rid of all of these vaults, so we've got a truly empty world, that drops down to 2. So that is quite a big difference. And throwing my backpacks down again and doing exactly the same thing also shows 2. Oh, it's gone up to 3. And that might not seem like a big deal in this empty world with nothing going on in it, but imagine a server with 16 players on it, each of them having 100 vaults somewhere force loaded so they can always access their storage. That 14 milliseconds per tick is going to be 140, which means the game can't actually run at the speed it needs to, because once it goes over 50, the game slows down. So, yeah. Backpacks to the future. And there we go! Just like that, we have a storage system capable of holding almost 40 million items. Assuming it works, of course. And all it is my 10 backpacks all in a row. The items will hopefully come out of the nether portal here, hit these grates, land on that belt, go up this slope here and into the first backpack where they'll pass through and they'll pass through and they'll pass through. They'll go down these chutes, come along here and pass through, and they should start filling up this backpack here. On the back of each backpack there is a packager with a stock link on so that we can call for items, and when the items are called, the package will drop down through the chutes onto these belts which feed towards the middle. The top row has those as well with angled chutes so they can all end up in the same place. Those will then end up on the other side, go through this funnel, get unpackaged into this barrel, and then we've got 3 funnels coming out of that barrel, allowing all of the items to come through the portal as quickly as possible, assuming it works. We have an interface to allow us to actually see what's in there, and of course there's nothing at the moment because I put nothing in it. And above that we've got a big old display board talking to threshold switches on top of the backpacks, which allow us to see how full they are. And of course there's nothing in them at the moment, so they're not going to register as full, but all this is a display link here attached to a threshold switch, which I haven't done anything with the redstone, I've just left it as it is, because the threshold switches don't really understand the backpacks. But if I was to throw some items in here, here, let's say, you know, a few thousand cobblestone, we should see those going round, going through the entire thing, coming down and parking in this one here. And yes, they're going in, but are our display links going to be able to see that? It would appear not, but I don't know how much needs to be in there to actually register as one of these locks. It might not be possible due to the fact that the threshold switches don't really know how to deal with backpacks, but I'm going to keep pouring a whole bunch of items in and see what happens, because I am overflowing with netherrack at the moment. It's working! It does work, even though the threshold switches have got no idea what's going on. The display links are able to tell how much is in there, and that means we can get at a glance an idea of how full our system is just by popping into the nether and checking it out. There we go, we can access all of our netherrack and cobblestone from here now, and if I was to pull some cobblestone from there, we should see that come out. There we go, and it's gone. Amazing! But does it work? What happens in the overworld? Let's go and find out. Well, I've got the cobblestone, I just picked it up, so that proves that that worked. And if I throw those back in again, in fact, let's throw something we know that's not in the system. Let's throw some dirt in and see what happens with that. Has it gone into the system? It has. The dirt is in there. It worked! Amazing. So now I just need to set up a system in here to get the items out of the nether and to get the items into the nether from my subway train. And I'd also like a handy box somewhere around here that I can just fill full of items and they'll go in there as well. So first thing I'm going to do is put my little stock ticker down here, throw a blaze burner next to that, and we can see, yes, we've got access to our nether stuff. If I click on that dirt and stand here, is it going to come flying out? There it is. It went the other side, but that's fine. We can deal with that. It works. Oh, I can't believe it. It works. I'm so excited. Now, the first thing I actually want to do down here is once again move the portal. I seem to be doing that a lot lately, but that's because I want that down in the space that we've made underneath this thing, just down here. And we're going to keep the X and Z coordinates exactly the same. Now we can get that lit again. And now that we've got it floating in the middle of the room, we can see which side the items are going to pop out when we throw them through. And that way we know which side we need our belts to catch them. So back in here then, if I was to throw a bit of dirt in that barrel, that's going to go whizzing through, and if we go through, we should see what side that landed on. And it landed, I'm assuming, yep, on that side over there. So we need our catching system over here. For that, we're going to need some shafts, and we're going to bring these up like this. And then I want to bring them up into our shop so that we can take them over there. We need to sort of get them across and then back up that way again. I was to just put a belt across that way, something like that. And then if I was to dig out a little bit of this wall here and dig up so we're back in our little room, we can put in a little bit of shaft there and a little bit there. We can add our belt there and just send that up into this room like that, and then we can just bring that all the way across here, where we can throw down a double chest with a funnel on the back. We can make it a little bit snazzy, and then we just need power to all of these belts. I haven't really thought about power over here. Other than the water wheels we've got in the wall, which are driving my elevator, we've got absolutely nothing. And I would like to put power in the nether and bring it over here, but unfortunately you can't really transfer power through a nether portal. So we are going to have some form of steam engine or something down here. But steam engines require infinite lava, and I don't have that over here yet. So that's going to have to wait. So for now, we'll just put in some water wheels, because they're easy, and then we'll worry about steam engines and things later. And just like that, we've got 4 water wheels giving us full power to our belts, and that means that those are running. We just need to get these ones running. To do that, I need to extend that one by a block and throw that in there, and then to get this one running is going to be slightly more tricky. I think we're going to have to smash that block, smash a couple of these, put a bit of chain drive behind there, and then I think if I can throw a gearbox in there, there we go, that sorted that out. They should all be going into the chest at the top. Oh no, wait, we need to throw a little bit of chain drive there, and there we go. We've now got everything whizzing into our storage. Wonderful. So ignoring the things that are already in there, if I click on this and ask for some netherrack, that should come through pretty quickly. It didn't come through. Where's my netherrack at? Oh wow, okay, it jumped all the way over there. In that case, we just build a wall here. Let's order a few stacks of it, and now we should see that whizzing through any second now. There we go. Lovely job. Very fast. Nice. Right, now we need a system to get items that I want to deposit into the system. And that should be really easy as well. What we can do here is have another little chest, maybe just about there. Dig a hole underneath it, ideally down into our little room. We'll throw a smart chute directly underneath that. And then we can bring that down into the room onto a couple of belts that'll just send that through into the portal. Just snazzify these belts a little bit. Get a little bit of power to those. Get these chutes attached all the way up, just like that. And now if I hop back up to the top and throw something we definitely know we haven't got any of in our storage system into this chest here, that will go from there and that should appear in our stock keeper relatively quickly. Oh no, I picked it up. It didn't make it through. Let's try that again. Throw it in there. Look at this. Nothing. Okay, why? Where's it going? It's not here. Is it in a queue? No, all of my netherrack has gone in. So what happened to my grass block? Let's try again. Throw that into there. Jump downstairs. It's not in the portal. It hasn't come back round and gone into there. And it's not in the storage system. That is confusing. I wonder if it's gone through a different portal. It's over there. Oh, perhaps then it can end up coming through these grates. I think I need a second character on here to see exactly what's going on. Or alternatively, get rid of these panels and just throw some blocks there instead and test it again. Oh, what? How have I come? Oh dear, that's not ideal. Where am I? I'm miles away. How have I ended up in a portal over there? What? Minecraft, it just works. You've done your maths wrong. I haven't done my maths wrong. It's sometimes it's a bit stupid. Right, we'll put that back in there. We're going to look at this. It's going to go in. Didn't go in. We're going to go back in the nether. I'm going to find out where they went. They're over. How did they get over there? They can't be coming through that portal, surely. I'm going to dismantle this one. There's no way. How could they be going through blocks? Okay, let's try again. Grass in. Check this. Nothing there. Go through. Look over wall. Grass there. What? Could it have flown over the top? Is it somehow managing to get through these? Something strange going on here for sure. Go back through. Put grass in box. Look at this. Nothing there. Go back through. Look around wall. Grass not there either. What? Where is it now then? Did it go in? It did. Oh, it's in there now. Oh, maybe I just looked too quickly. All right, let's send that back out again so we know it's not in there. Yeah, it went into there, so we know that bit works. Let's put it in again, and then I just look at this a bit longer this time. There it is. It did work. Just turns out grass blocks can jump. Oh, wonderful. And retrieve it. How long does it take? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 4 seconds. Incredible. Okay, now we know that works. All we've got to do is get the items off the train and get the train going backwards and forwards to my starter base to pick up the rest of the items. And again, that should be easy because I've already lined up a portable storage interface below the train, which is just here. So I've just got to get the items from there onto that belt. There we go. Now the items should start coming off. Here we go, and they should start going in the nether. First of all, we can go and check on our little thingy here. And yes, look, items are going in. That's wonderful. It's working. And I'm also going to hop through the portal and just make sure items are going where they're supposed to be. And ideally not all over the floor. No, nothing going all over the floor. And wow, is the train empty already? Things have stopped coming. Oh, it's probably because I've unloaded the overworld. But there we go. A whole bunch of items has already been sent through. Now I just need to set up that train schedule. Give me your train schedule. You need to go to Foxy's starter base until you've had 5 seconds of cargo inactivity. Then you need to go to Foxy base east until you've had 5 seconds of cargo inactivity. Ready? Go. It's going. I wanted to go with it. Oh, well, that should work. Can't see why it wouldn't. Well, he's back at the right station. Items are being loaded on. So as soon as he's full, he should go back again. So I'm going to go for a ride. And here we go. We're going. We've got all sorts of goodies in here. And we're just about to arrive back at the subway. There we go. And if we hop down, we should see that items are unloading. They're going through. This is working. So now all I've got to do is wait a whole bunch of time for all of this to happen. Okay, a little while later, the items are still coming in thick and fast, and we're getting a whole bunch of stuff in here. But there are a couple of problems. The first problem is that this board doesn't work at all. The reason it doesn't work is because the threshold switch can't actually understand the capacity of the backpack, This does its best guess. It assumes it's just a chest or a barrel with 27 stacks worth of items, and once the storage inside goes beyond that, it just gets confused and resets back to 0. So this board is a complete waste of time. The other problem is a little bit more significant, and that is that we're wasting a bunch of storage. As much as these backpacks can hold almost 4 million items in each of them, because we're sending things through in a linear fashion, once every single slot fills up, if the next item to come along isn't something that can stack, all of a sudden we start going into the next backpack. Which should be fine because we've got an awful lot of space, but it's not very efficient. We're hardly using any of the storage space in here at all. Like, we've got just one melon here. And there will be things in the other backpacks that can stack with things in this one, but they can't because they can't get to it. The way that you deal with this in vanilla Minecraft is relatively simple. It can get a little bit complicated, and this demonstration isn't right at all, but it sort of gives you an idea. The idea is if you put items into your input system, using a little bit of redstone trickery, we could make the items follow the hoppers in sequential order. You basically tell this hopper to load this chest first, and if it can't go in there, the next hopper will suck the item out of that one and then attempt to put it in there, and if it can't put it in there, and so on and so forth. Which means that if you've got items that can be stacked with inside of this one, then they will be able to stack because they're going to try and go in there first. But hoppers are really slow and not good for Create, because in Create you're dealing with thousands of items at a time, not just tens or hundreds. With Create, I think the most similar example to the hoppers behind the chest is something like this, where you would have your input system drop down, the items would come across this belt, try and go in that chest, and if they can't, they get taken out by this chute here and then put into that chest. But unfortunately with this, as you'll see, the items will never make it to this funnel because they're going to be sucked up by that first. That said, we do have smart observers in the game that can see things, and smart observers can detect items on belt. For example, this stone block here, if I throw that on there, the smart observer is going to see it. So if we set up something a little bit like this, we could throw our stone on there now, the observer will see it, unlock the smart chute and allow it through. And that means if we put this back to how it was, with the funnel going into that chest and we throw our stone on there now, it is going to go in that chute. But if we have our belts going nice and quickly, we should be able to get it to skip straight past and go in this chest. So if I put a whole stack of stone in there, the majority of it will go through into here, but some will go through into there because of the time delay on here. So something like this could work, but realistically we only want to be detecting the item if it's stuck, which means we'd need some sort of delay on here. Fortunately for us, we do have access to a bunch of blocks that might help us with that, but I'm going to have to do some fiddling before I try and talk my way through that one. Well, as it turns out, it's pretty simple. We've got a system here where the observer is looking at this depot for an item. If an item goes on there, a redstone signal will be output. That turns off this redstone torch. That then goes through this pulse extender, and if that signal is turned off for more than 20 ticks, i.e. 1 second, the smart chute will open. However, if it doesn't last that long, the smart chute doesn't open. It has to be on there for at least a second for the smart chute to open, and then it'll work. So I've set that up on here, and we're going to grab our 64 stone back again, throw it back in there, and hopefully this time we should get all of it in there. Yes, we did. So let's just fill this chest up apart from the last slot there. Grab ourselves a couple of stacks of netherrack, throw those into there, and we should see one stack exactly go in there, and the rest should hopefully end up getting picked up by this smart chute. But because of where they landed on the belt, it can't actually see them. So let's just move that forward one. Now it can see them. Now that should open up. There we go. And everything else will go into the bottom one. But that does leave us with 16 items here that are just going to be forever on our belt until we take something out of there. And this is what I've come up with. Now, there are only 4 backpacks in this, and of course we're going to be working with 10, but the system should do what I need it to do. And if I throw a whole bunch of items into this input chest here, they should all hopefully end up in this top backpack, and none in the ones below. None in there, none in there, and none in there. That's good. But if all of these slots in this backpack were full, and I decided to throw a whole bunch of stuff I know's not in there into the system, then yes, it's all going into the next backpack. So that works. But it also doesn't. because we've got this glass here blocking up that slot. So even if we sent through something else that fits in there, like these andesite funnels, they're not actually going to get in because that's in the way. So we need to be able to clear that one, which we can't do. And here we have a staggered system. So it's exactly the same as that, but the backpacks are now in a diagonal, and hopefully this will work. Let's grab a load of stuff to throw in, chuck it all into this chest and see where it ends up. And it should all go just like before into the very top backpack, which it seems to be doing. Nothing is going in any of the other backpacks. But now when this backpack gets absolutely full and we try to send in something that doesn't fit, it should, there we go, it doesn't block it anymore. We can do it. So I just need this to work with 10 backpacks. How hard could it be? What could possibly go wrong? Well, here we go. The system I've got in place seems to work. It starts filling from the very top, brings its way down to the bottom, and the input and output system works as well. It's a little bit slower getting my packages out now because they all have to go down quite a lot of chutes to get to the exit point, but it does work. And you might have just noticed, yes, there's a barrel in here instead of a backpack, and that's because I've decided to run everything back through, sorting it all out. So I've basically been taking any of the backpacks that have had content in, bringing them to the top here like this one, putting them back into the system so that they can all join together. And that means obviously that I need something to take the backpack space. And I'm nearly there. This is the last one that I need to do. And once that's done, everything should be well sorted and we should be well on our way for a good storage system. That said, there is another problem. And this problem's not ever so big, but it does mean I'm going to have to rebuild this all over again. Not instead of this one, but another one. And that's because we've got quite a lot of things that are just one item here and there and non-stackable items which take up a lot of inventory slots, which is wasting the space in our backpacks. As a result of that, rather than us storing 4 million items per backpack, we've got one thing here and one thing there, and it's not ideal. So I need to set up a system that when the items come in through the portal, they split off in 2 directions. Anything that can stack in bulk quantities can go in here, and anything that's non-stackable, like shulker boxes and cardboard swords and tools and items, can all be stored in a little bulk storage system over there, and that probably will be in vaults. That way we'll be able to maximize what we're actually getting out of these backpacks rather than this system already being, well, relatively full. Because we've got this backpack here, that one's full, that's got some bits going in, but this one's full, this one's full, this one's getting bits in, which means we've actually already half filled it. Like I say, they're not full, they're just full of rubbish. Okay, quite a lot of time has passed and I've made some significant changes to my storage system. And whilst it might look like a big old spaghetti mess of belts, it should work, although I haven't tested it yet. So let me talk you through what I've done. I wasn't happy that the storage system went through so many layers vertically, so I decided to come up with a way to split it into smaller chunks. And by doing that, I actually now have 16 backpacks rather than 10, and because I had to make so many more, I'm completely out of gold. As a result of that, the very last 2 backpacks in the system don't actually have diamond upgrades, they only have iron, and I'm hoping that we can get some more gold soon so that I can finish those off. But because these are at the very end of the system, hopefully we won't be getting to them anytime soon. So how does this system differ from the last one? Well, it's a cyclic system. It starts in this backpack here. If things can't fit in there, they try that one. If they can't fit in there, they try that one. And if they can't fit in there, they try that one. If they can't fit in there, they'll drop through this chute and they're going to go all the way around the back of this system, and they're going to start all over again in this backpack, and then they're going to work their way down to this one, and if they can't get in that one, they're going to go along here, all the way along this belt, all the way almost back to the beginning, but instead of going right, they're going to go left, and they're going to repeat that through this system here, going down that side first. If they can't get in, going up round the back, coming down this side, and if they can't get in there, they're going to go all the way around here into this overflow vault. So that should take care of the majority of the items. Now, to get the items out of this buffer vault we've got in the middle, which is where all the items coming out of the nether go into, we've actually got 3 brass funnels, each with filters on. This filter basically says non-stackable items go that way, and they're going to go directly into this little vault. The non-stackable items are going to go into our overflow vault, and the other items that come out of this filter, which is basically things I get in bulk like netherrack, cobblestone, deep slate, tuff, gravel and sand, they're all going to come through here as well, and they're going to come out the other one, and they're going to go into this vault where we've actually got some threshold switches down at the bottom to throw out anything we have too much of, and I just need to put fire down here to burn it, but I want to test it works before we start burning all of my items. And the filters I've got in my hand basically go on these funnels, and one of them says cannot stack, and the other one says can be stacked. So the cannot stack one goes on here, and the can stack one goes on there, which means we'll get the right items going into the right vaults. Now these vaults have also got packages on, so we can call items out of them, and of course so have all of the other systems as well. The packages that come out of these vaults will come along these conveyors, go onto this one and go into this funnel, drop down those chutes, come out through here, get unpackaged, and the items will go into the overworld. Likewise, this side of the system, all of the packages will go through those chutes and through that same system, and even the ones over this side will do the same. All of the packages will come down through these chutes, come up this belt, come across here, go down through those chutes, and then go through the system. And I don't see any reason why it won't work. Now, I've actually got all of these backpacks here, which are the ones we've already been throwing items into, and the reason I haven't put them back in the system yet is because I actually want to force all of those items back through once again so that they can actually get sorted properly. For that, I'm going to need a couple of smart chutes, going to need to destroy a couple of those and put those on there, and then I'm going to need an awful lot of patience as I basically go through one by one, allowing all of the items to come through and go wherever they need to go. That's good. That's working. And that backpack's already done, so we can go and throw this into the system wherever I'm missing one, and I'm missing a whole bunch over here. That means I can throw the next one on. And hopefully now when I come and look in here, we're only getting stackable items, which is right. There are, however, things going into the next one, which could be going into this one, which is not right. So that's a bit weird. This is flashing. That shouldn't be able to... What have I done differently this time? It's weird. This one sort of holds on and doesn't keep going off, whereas this one keeps going off. The redstone torch is off a lot longer on this one, which is not how I've experienced this before. What would be better would be to invert this and have that signal coming down in a different way, but I don't know if I can do that. I think target blocks are going to be my friend here. Basically, all I need to do is replace that redstone dust with a target block, replace this redstone torch with a piece of redstone dust, and then invert that, and then I don't think we'll have a problem. Maybe. And after having let this run for a while now, it seems to be working. It's not 100% perfect, but it's good enough. The non-stackable items are going into this vault here. All of the rubbish that I don't want to keep is going into this one here, although I've locked all of these for now because I don't want them all coming out until I've dealt with how much we want to keep of each one. And only a few things are skipping backpacks, and that's just because if this sees a regular stream of items and unlocks itself, it takes a second before it locks back on again, allowing some items to just skip past where they could stack with another one. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's way better than having a billion vaults. And considering this system can now hold 62.9 million items, and that's not including what's in the full-size vaults, that's actually now equivalent to 606 full-size vaults. So we do have plenty of capacity, although my netherrack's filled up. So let's come to my netherrack, set it on fire, and we'll say we want to keep 200 stacks of netherrack in there. So now all I need to do is flick that, and the rest of it'll all start pouring out. And I think 200 stacks is a good number for all of the things that we need to keep. I can't imagine ever needing more than that in bulk. Anyway, I've only got a few items left in these backpacks to run through this system now, so by the next video that will all have gone through. And so will my meeting with the Pops.